Now moving into a newer segment here for us that we are calling the betting corner. Obviously, in today's world of sports betting is very prevalent. Pretty much the way that I always looked at sports betting for years was until it gets picked up by like the major networks and they're talking about it and they're having a main focus on it, I don't really care for it. And then they started to do that. And so now
Yep.
it's a lot more in today's game. It's something that, you know, we got to talk about because it is so important to the world of sports betting. You and I know you have started to do it this year, potentially off of a little bit of influence from me. I'm not sure. Maybe that was just a decision you kind of went like, hey, this is just something for fun. The one thing that we will say always at this section is make sure that you are doing it legally. You are above age either in your state, province, country, whatever it is. You are legal age and it is legal in your area. And also do it safe. For both of
Yes.
us, the most of the time whenever we make a bet, it's $1, maximum $5 for me. That has kind of always been my rule. Play within your limits, play smart. Now that we have the PSA out, let's talk some gambling, baby. We have some we have some interesting bets that we have, and so we'll kind of do a little bit of back and forth here. For me, one of the bets that I really like is the Cardinals at +6. Like I said earlier, I think the Cardinals could very easily win this spread and potentially win this game. I think this is going to be a really close game. So for me, I threw that one down, and just taking a look here at the odds that I at least had for this one, it was at minus 110. So you're not going to get great money for it, but say for instance you're in a parlay that you just want to kind of throw that one in there. For me, that's kind of one of those add it to your parlay because I think it's going to hit.
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, and for myself, a lot of the betting I do is player props. I don't do a lot of money line or spread betting. Maybe a little bit with the hockey. I'll do some money line, but for the most part, I do player props with the NFL. One of the ones that jumped out at me for this week, I often don't look at my own team just because I tend to be more biased. But this one jumped out at me. It's anytime touchdowns for both Najee Harris for the Steelers and Jerome Ford of the Browns, and that's got plus 850 odds. And that's just, both these teams, we talked about it earlier, it's going to be a really run heavy offense kind of day with both these quarterbacks not really being successful or even proven or tested. And so I think it's a good bet to see both those guys get touchdowns on the ground this week.
Yeah, fair enough. Taking a look here at my next bet and this is going to be one of those ones where I say I don't like this bet. I think you should avoid this one. It's the Bears getting the money line plus Justin Fields 250 or 200 plus passing yards and a Justin Fields passing touchdown. That is at plus 800. The only reason that I don't like this bet is because it's sitting at plus 800. If you had Justin Fields at plus 200 passing yards and a passing touchdown at plus 800, I'd probably hit that all day long.
Mhm.
But then adding in the Bears money line for this one, I think that is a hell of a stretch, and they are severely. If you would have put plus 800 just for the Bears money line, I would have been like, you're probably still undervaluing that massively, but adding in the rest of those, I do not like that bet. If you see that, do not take that one. I think it
No.
is terrible odds. If you were to put $1 on that, you would only net 8. It'd be a total of 9s for winning, but the money line itself should be that. And
Yeah.
then adding the rest of it, like you and I in our pre-meeting beforehand, I was saying to this one, you're like, this one should be like plus 4,000. I was like, I
Right?
agree. It is
Because
insane.
I don't think anybody sees any way the Bears are winning this. So that's just silly to me. I could understand if they had the Bears beating the spread at that,
Yep.
then that would make a little bit more sense.
Without a
Um,
doubt, but your next bet, good sir.
yeah, another one for me was this Chargers Packers game. We've been seeing this Chargers offense going off a lot, and one that I really liked was there we got Keenan Allen gaining 75 receiving yards, Austin Eckler at 75 receiving and rushing yards, and Justin Herbert to throw for over 300 yards. I don't remember what the odds were on that one. I forgot to mark it down, but that's one that week in and week out I've been seeing Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler both be putting up those kinds of yards. And I think that is a solid bet to make. Justin Herbert's looked phenomenal since his hand healed up, and he's been putting up close to, if not over 300 yards every.
Yeah, I also have a bet that I like for the Chargers. It is the Chargers money line, which I think, like I said earlier, I think the Chargers are going to win anyways. Then I have a Joey Bosa sack. I think him getting after the quarterback. He's one of those guys that has the last couple years been up and down, a little bit of a roller coaster. I think he's going to get a sack on Jordan Love. I'd love to see it. And then Austin Eckler, an anytime touchdown. The odds right there are plus 500. So you know what? If you throw a buck down, you're going to get 6 total. You're going to win 5. If you feel a little bit more comfortable throwing like a 2 or 3 down on that one, money just goes up. I think that is a pretty likely one. Chargers win, Joey Bosa sack, and then Austin Eckler, who for years and years has been one of those guys that's touchdown machine type level. So yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know if you have another one, but I have one more. But if you have another one, take it away.
Yeah, I've got two more, and I mean one of them goes back to the other side of the ball in that Steelers Browns game. It's low odds, only plus 150, but we've got Myles Garrett and T.J. Watt both to record a sack, which I think is very doable against both of these offenses. And so that's an easy one. You throw down a dollar, you're taking back 250. But as you said, you go up, you throw $5 down on that, and you're getting what over $11. So
Yep, you
that
throw a
that that
grand
is another.
down. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I'm
right.
kidding. Gamble smart, people. Gamble smart.
Yeah. So I mean that's another one that I think is a sure thing. T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett getting sacks. You can usually bet on that almost every week.
Yeah, without a doubt. And so my final one, which I think we both ended up taking this one, it's the Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs. Both teams to score plus 25 points, and
Yep.
both quarterbacks to throw for 250 passing yards. That is at 850. So if you throw a buck down, it is very, very good odds. Um, I think defense, we both thought in this one that defense is kind of going to take a little bit of a rest day for both of these two teams. And, with obviously Jalen Hurts, he has phenomenal wide receivers out there with him.
Hmm.
A.J. Brown and
Devonta Smith.
Devontae Smith, thank you.
Yep.
Both really, really good. Dallas Goddard is a phenomenal tight end. He catches the ball
DeAndre
great.
Swift out of the backfield as
DeAndre
well.
Swift,
Any
thank
check
you.
downs to him, those
Yep.
count as passing yards.
And Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. Like for him in a bright light game, I think this is our Monday night game of the week. So,
Hmm.
Mahomes, he only gets better under those games, and I think 250 is kind of the standard for him anyways. So pretty much I think the toughest one that's going to happen in this game is for both teams to get 25 points plus, but for 850 I like those odds. Threw a buck
Hmm.
on it, and you know what, I like I said, I don't really dislike that. I think it should be a good game overall to watch for that.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, and that was also my last one that I had in there too. Another one I wanted to bring up was, I like making some same game parlays, multi-game parlays. Something I've been throwing into mine every week, and it's been hitting consistently for the last few weeks, is Jalen Warren to gain 75 yards, both rushing and receiving, because he's just been a beast the last few weeks.
He's your
As this
best running
second
back.
guy, he's kind of like the Tony Pollard of this season. The way Tony Pollard was last year with the Cowboys when he was behind Ezekiel Elliott. He didn't get as much focus, but he was just explosive as a result. And I get the same sort of vibes from Jalen Warren. So I would be more concerned if he becomes a feature back anywhere, that he will have the same sort of limitations that we've seen with Tony Pollard. But as long as he's the two in a 1-2 punch somewhere, I think he's a good bet on any given week to be putting up both rushing and receiving yards. He's got some good hands out of the backfield.
When it comes to Jalen Warren, I think he's probably still a good one in a 1-2 punch because he's still gonna
Yeah,
have that. But yeah, I
he
know what
just
you're
can't
saying.
be the feature guy. Like I wouldn't expect him to be putting up these numbers if he's receiving 75% or more of the snaps. He needs to be like capped at 50% of the snaps, in my opinion.
Fair, fair. But yeah, that is betting corner. So again, make sure you bet responsibly and you're betting legally in your area and country.